Welcome to another edition of the Deals for Dentists podcast. Today, we are joined by Jay Glazer. He is the Director of Business Development of Crazy Dental. And we're also joined by Howie Friedman, who is the CFO and COO of Crazy Dental. And you guys are zooming in from Baltimore?
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Snowy
snowing
Baltimore.
outside.
Oh, yeah.
Along with most of the country.
Well, thanks for joining us. So you can go to dealsfordentist.com and find Crazy Dental promo offer. And their offer is you can save up to 40% on supplies with Crazy Dental. Crazy Dental Prices is a DC dental company and manufactured authorized dealer offering guaranteed the cheapest pricing and best in class logistics. Join now for free to save up to 40% on supplies. And you can save an extra 10% off your order with the promo code D4Dentist. So go to Deals for Dentists and check out their promo offer. That does exclude PPE. So welcome aboard, guys. I wanted to hear all about your story and how you help dentists.
Thanks.
All right. Yeah. Well, so Crazy Dental really is a club within. Jay, if you want to move your camera, you could actually see the tagline behind you in your backdrop. So Crazy Dental is a members-only club of DC Dental. So many people watching this might have heard of DC Dental, might have done business with DC Dental. DC Dental is an authorized dental supply company, like all the other dental supply companies you know about. We've been around since 2002, well over 100 employees, and we're well established in the industry, and we have a very talented sales team, customer service team, account management team, and we have a lot of dentists out there, many of whom might be listening, that already have very good relationships with many of our account managers. Crazy Dental is a crazy concept. That's where the crazy comes from. That and the fact that Jay's involved in it.
It makes it crazier. Yeah.
Is crazy was a concept. What we found was there is a lot of dentists out there, many of whom might be watching or listening to this podcast, who don't necessarily have or want to have kind of account managers. They like the idea of shopping around, and they want to save money on dental supplies. And so our idea was, why not just list all the prices of all our competitors right in our website? And the Crazy Dental Club gives you access to it. We're not in charge of our own pricing. We don't set our prices. It's Crazy Dental prices. We just it automatically will set the price to whatever the lowest vendor listed is charging. So you're always going to pay the lowest retail price that's out there, and it helps you in two ways. So first of all, when you're shopping around, it takes a lot of time, obviously, you're going to go to this website, that website, and this dealer, that dealer. You might even have to make some phone calls to negotiate with this one and that one. So it cuts out all that time. But the second and the most important is that you're going to be ordering from one place where we have a stellar reputation in terms of distribution capabilities. Our warehouse is fully automated with artificial intelligence, robots, machinery. Our products, if you place your order before 3 p.m. Eastern time, your product will ship out that day. And depending on where you are, for about 40% of the country, that means you're going to get it in 2 days or less from the day you place your order. So we're as fast as pretty much anybody else in the industry, certainly anyone close to our price point. So it's really a no-brainer because it's the best of both worlds. It gives you the ability to do one-stop shopping at the same time to save money. And it's a great fit. We have what we found, what Jay finds is it's not for everybody, because there are people that either have very tight relationships with their dealer or like the idea of having an account manager. And so you're going to lose out on some of, and especially like the larger practices who may have negotiating power and can negotiate beyond advertised prices. And then you have certain people that love the hunt. They love the idea. They don't like the idea of, I'm just going to go to a website and place an order. I want to go here, go there. They might also be interested in gray market, which we don't do any gray market. So if you're going to buy, from one of the gray market websites that are out there, certainly on the disposables, we're actually highly competitive. But if you're going to buy your clinical products, gray market would probably be cheap. That's the reason why it's there. Might be a little cheaper, but for all those in between, and I would say that covers 30 to 40% of the market, the independent dental practitioner, they just love us. And our customer service is absolutely stellar. You can test by calling a number. It's a separate number from the regular DC Dental phone number. There is no auto attendant. Somebody picks up, and we take care of all the manufacturer promotions for you. So if you place an order and it's a 3+1, you don't need to worry about mailing in or faxing in the invoice. We fax it in for you. We'll track it until you get it. So, it's a really good fit. It's one of the faster growing portions of our business. And most importantly, I think for what you do, it's a match made in heaven, because it's the ultimate deal site.
Yeah, that was, one of the reasons why I created the website, is I didn't want to have to hunt and, find the deals and negotiate and call around. And I used to do that specifically with implants. I would call different implant companies and find out what kind of deals they had, the new customer offer, or I'd wait until the trade show and find out the trade show price. But so my idea was to try to bring the trade show price to the office directly, and help dentists, kind of like what you're doing, save time and money by just being transparent and putting all the deals on the table. Is that one of your when you started Crazy, was that one of your biggest goals, was to create that transparency?
The word transparency is, if you said one word to describe Crazy Dental, it was transparency. More than anything else, it was the exact opposite. What we were fighting, or what we were trying to differentiate ourselves from, were the dealers. And we get this all the time. Jay gets this all the time. They want to compare invoices, and they send in the invoices. And some prices are cheaper, some aren't. It's none of those dealers list the prices that they're charging everybody on their website. They're constantly changing and tweaking their pricing model to make it, to tease you, to get in. Like if you go to certain supermarkets, they have the end cap deals where it teases you. You could to come into the store, and then they make up the difference on the other items. And so unless you go down every single line, every single order, and then check back every few months to see if they've changed the price, you're constantly worrying, and it's a thing. You're constantly worried that you're not, going to be getting the best possible deal. Whereas with Crazy Dental, we don't set our price, so it is what it is. There is the possibility that the prices of our competitors haven't been updated timely, or there's something, but in that situation, we have a penalty. We penalize ourselves because we have a 110% price match guarantee. So if the price is wrong, we actually pay you. And so it's self-regulating in that sense. So it's for people that don't want to shop around. And sometimes people say, I could do I could do better if I went here and I went there, because sometimes you are getting special pricing, or sometimes there's an unadvertised price or unadvertised deal. Or you could sit there and negotiate with your sales rep. But our response to that is, what you're going to pay overall with Crazy Dental, take 3 months worth of invoices, and you will overall save money, number one. And number two, it's incredibly easy. So there's no way that you did all of that and without having to check back and do all that extra legwork. And it just, to me, doesn't make any sense.
Now, is this all set? You have an algorithm that figures out all the pricing out there, and then it immediately creates your pricing, and does that change daily or even per minute?
Some of it is automated, some of it's actually manual. We actually have people checking the pricing, and some of it's from downloads, crawling, APIs, all that sort of stuff. It's a combination. Fully automated, though, is the setting to the lowest price. That's just a a back-end script that runs that looks at all the. So in other words, if let's say we update the price of a competitor by $1, you wait. It might take anywhere between 30 seconds to 90 seconds, and then you refresh the page on the website, and the price will have changed. It's automatic.
I actually just wanted to.
We
I just
can
wanted to
make the
say the
price
word algorithm.
lower. Yeah, we can make the. That's right. That we can make the price lower, but we can't make it higher.
Okay.
I'm not sure what situations we've had where we made it lower though either. So we're as low as we can go.
You don't get involved with sending out a catalog because, or do you? Is like sending out a catalog without pricing? Is that a way that some distributors kind of hide their prices?
Of distributors don't publish pricing in their main catalogs. We have done away with our main catalog, at least for now. But we have this very cool feature. If you place an order with Crazy Dental, you should get one, where we automatically will create like a mini catalog of any items that every quarter you'll get one, any item that you've ordered from us. In addition to the top 50 items that we sell, and you get a customized catalog with your name on it, and it will print with the most recent pricing. The prices don't change that frequently. I mean, outside of the world of PPE in the last 12 months, but outside of that, most manufacturers are really adjusting their advertised price once a year on most products, and typically that's towards quarter 4. At the beginning of quarter 1, and it's usually driven by manufacturer price changes, and they're adjusting their pricing. So the prices don't change all that frequently from the catalog price. What's changing from the manufacturer or from your regular supplier might be them adjusting your price once they feel secure in your business. And the behind the scenes, there might be some sort of reminders on their end that says, hey, why don't we just kick this customer up a notch or two? What are the chances they're going to leave us at this point? So those are the games that we don't engage in. We don't need to worry too much about our pricing being stale. It's automated, but to the extent that it's not changing all that frequently.
So that's where the word transparency comes in, because I may have a relationship with a distributor or supplier, and I've been with them for 6 months or a year, and they may know that I'm not checking, and they may just start to bump up some of the prices of some of the products without me even knowing.
I assure you that people listening to this have experienced that. They know so it's not a theory, and that's what we Go ahead.
Can you guys explain what gray market is and what it means to be an authorized distributor or dealer?
Sure. Well, gray market manifests itself in multiple ways. Most commonly, what you're seeing is, so manufacturers they do an enormous amount of research and development to create their product, and then they build the manufacturing plant that's capable of producing that product with the labeling and everything else, and the staff, and they market the product internationally, usually with a bigger focus on the U.S. market, and then they but they have an international market for the product, and it's priced very differently across all countries, and so a lot of countries are purchasing and that's because the variable cost of the manufacturing is far less than the actual product itself, or what they're charging you. And that's because it's priced into is the research and development cost and all the educational costs of running the platform, and what internationally is priced usually on excess capacity. So what ends up happening is a lot of these products will make it to other countries and then get diverted and sent back to this country. And even though it's made such a large round trip across the world, sitting on shipping containers and possibly in other people's warehouses for several months, refrigerated or not refrigerated, it'll make its way back into this country and made available for sale for far less than the product that went straight to DC Dental's warehouse and then straight to your office. And you know, when it comes to non-clinical products or products that aren't making it into patients' mouths, you're probably okay. From a liability perspective, the manufacturer will trace the lot number and doesn't stand behind those products because they don't know that they can't trace the origins of it. So you have, you're always a little bit at a risk and significantly higher once you get into those products that, you know, need to work, or you could be you'll have to redo, or at best case scenario, you have the patient back in your chair. Worst case scenario, you have legal issues. So it's a choice. I would say the risk isn't so high, but you know, it's a risk reward sort of thing. So that's where gray market comes in. A lot of reputable companies do sell gray market. But that's a choice that many dentists have made. We've made the choice as a company to not engage in the sale of gray market products. We work directly with all of the major manufacturers in the U.S. to deliver our products. And then as far as pricing goes, by the way, here's a little known secret. The trade shows are opportunities where the manufacturers do, I mean, they are timed sometimes to have deals that are only during trade shows. You can work with your manufacturer rep if you have a 3M, Dentsply, or CurRep, or GC America, or any of these manufacturers in your office, or you can work with them on getting a buy-get deal. And so oftentimes using the buy-get program and then ordering it on Crazy Dental, which has the buy-get advertised there, your net price might be very close, if not lower, than the gray market price without any of the drawbacks.
So essentially I always thought of gray market as like counterfeit, you know, like bond or cements or composite. It's more so where it's being shipped to and back from, and was it properly handled and refrigerated?
Correct. It's diverted product. I mean, Costco, Target, Walmart, they all engage in gray market themselves, and those are the largest retailers in the world. So they engage in gray market to some degree. It's diverted product. The product isn't shipped directly from the manufacturer to the retailer. You'll even find you go to a 99-cent store and they have sodas there, and oftentimes what they're doing is going to the supermarket when they have, you know, get 4 12-packs for $10. So they'll buy it from their local grocery store, take it out of the 12-pack packaging and sell it, you know, as individuals for 50 cents a can or something. That's a form of gray market. And you look at that and you say, you know what, that's the exact same product. I'm comfortable buying it. So the gray market is not illegal. It isn't necessarily, it is usually the almost identical to the regular product. And it's a question of your sensitivity and the cost reward benefit. You know, you do an analysis of what sort of risk you're willing to take, and how important the product is. You know, if you're a personal consumer, forget dental for a second, if you found that your contact lenses were gray market versus direct, would you put gray market contacts in your eyes? Some people would say, well, the direct is $60 and I can get a gray market for 40. I save 20 bucks. And the other person might say, you know, for $20, I'd rather see for the rest of my life and not take any chance whatsoever, even if it's a 1 in a million. Counterfeit is much higher. A percentage of counterfeit items would make it into gray market, but I don't think that there's an enormous, I mean, just being honest, I don't think there's an enormous amount of counterfeit dental products being sold gray market in the gray market world. It's more likely for it to creep in if it is around, but I don't know of too many examples where where we had widely distributed counterfeit products in a dental industry yet.
I got to stop getting my soda from the dollar store.
Yeah.
So almost everything at the dollar store is probably, or a lot of the dollar stores are some form of gray market or another. one of the tells is when you look at a name brand product that you're used to seeing everywhere, and then you'll see that they'll have another language on one side or the other of the packaging. That's a clear giveaway. You'll see that in dental as well. The packaging might be slightly different because it'll have the language of the country it was originally intended for on the packaging.
Mm-hmm.
So that's usually your sign. That's almost always your sign that it's some form of gray market or another.
So other than that, how would you know? Like, how do I know Crazy Dental is giving me non-gray market products? Or is the word that you use they're authorized products?
Yeah, so we put it everywhere. We also list our logo, and the logos of the manufacturers we do business with. So either we are authorized dealer or we are engaging in an illegal practice of claiming to be authorized. On the homepage of crazydentalprices.com, we have manufacturer authorized in bold, right in that big banner going across the center of your screen.
Are those
so that's
the
usually
biggest?
how you can tell. And when they're not telling you they're authorized, then they're not authorized.
Are those the biggest manufacturers? GC, Kerr, 3M, Dentsply, Sirona. Is that where most of your clinical products, I would say,
Those are
come
some
from?
of the bigger names. There's hundreds of manufacturers that we work with, and those are the bigger names in the clinical. You also have a lot of big brand. You have the anesthetic market, and then you have disposables, and so there's hundreds of manufacturers that we work with. Yeah, if you're looking at the homepage, the ones that you're seeing on there are probably some of the largest. I'm just looking, eyeballing it. Some of the largest, certainly in terms of breadth of product. Also, they have hundreds. Each one of those listed there have hundreds of different products that we're selling.
How many products do you actually sell or house?
So our warehouse, we have over 30,000 products listed. It's a good question because I think one of the things that you'll find from one-stop shop dealers or that claim to be one-stop shop dealers is that they'll have the 2,000 or 3,000 most popular products. So we're at 30,000. You know, with the current international shipping market being a little sluggish, you know, we might only have 27,000 in stock. You know, a back order rate is, you know, on if you're ordering an A or B item, you know, popular item that you're ordering regularly, we're 99 point whatever percent in stock on all of those SKUs. If you order something a little bit less popular, we might be at 94%, 92%. So there's an 8% chance. If you order 15 items from us, at that point, 15, 20 items on your order, and some of them are random items you order once a year. Chances are one or two of them might be on back order, and it might take a week or two for you to get it. The chances are also that you don't need it right away. So usually it's not a problem. We'll ship it out as soon as we get it.
And does everything ship out of Baltimore?
At this point, we are shipping most products out of Baltimore. One of the things that we're able to do because we're authorized is we're able to ship it directly from the manufacturer if we don't have it in stock, and expedite it as well. We do that all the time for customers that when it is back ordered, you get communication from us, and then you can just let us know, and we're happy to do that. But we're also, you know, I mean, we've been growing at an enormous rate over the last 5 years. So we have brought in an ex-executive from Amazon, and we're in the process of expanding our footprint to include at least another distribution facility, hopefully in the next year or two. And that would give us 2 days. Our goal would be 2 days across the whole country. Right now, it's 2 days to about 40%, and then 3 days to 60 to 70%. If you're on the West Coast, it's going to take 4 days to get there right now.
So are you ultimately gonna try to open up on the West Coast or in the South somewhere?
Yep. Yeah, I think the next one's going to be somewhere that will allow us to be 2 days, certainly to the entire California, Washington State, and that area. We're already 3 days to Texas. and then opening on the West Coast, I don't know that will lower that number. And we love Texas. We have a huge amount of customers in Texas that love us. So we'll see what we'll do about that. Obviously, also, especially on the more expensive items, and the way it works is the more expensive the item, the less it weighs. And any item that is, if you say you need a case of Cavi wipes overnight, it might be a problem. But if you have a specific instrument or whatever it is that you need for a procedure and you need it right away, we overnight it for you at no additional charge also, if you just communicate that to us. So we don't really find shipping times to be too big of a concern. I will say, to be quite honest, that because of that, we have a larger concentration of our customers on the right half of our country. Jay has been bothering me. I'm the COO and the CFO, so as the COO and actually wearing both hats, Jay drives me crazy all the time to open up on the West Coast. He says we'll get a lot more customers this way, and they'll be a lot happier. So we're aware of that, and for those customers that we do have on the West Coast, it just shows you how good of a job we do, that they're willing to wait 4 days for their orders.
If I could just jump in quickly, I was doing a great job. I don't want to mess up the line here, but if someone like Howie mentioned, just like for an instrument and anything really, if a guy needs something right away, we'll take care of it at our own expense. If someone says I need it, Chick-Chock in California, somewhere in the Washington State, Oregon, Utah, Tech, wherever it is, Nevada, we'll take care of them.
We ask our customers to be big picture customers. We tell them, don't look at the lowest price on every item in your order, because I can guarantee you that if you place going back to that 15 line order example, you will find an item on there that for whatever reason, when you log into whatever website and you go across the whole spectrum, you'll save money on at least one of those items. What we do say is if you can't find another company where you'll add all 15 items to your order and it will be cheaper. Impossible. And so what we preach, we practice what we preach, which is look at the big picture. So from our perspective, the same thing. If you need something overnighted, even if it's a case of Cavi wipes, whatever it costs, we're never looking at making money on any one order, or with the pricing that we've been offering lately at all. But as a big picture, we're trying to build relationships. We're trying to create loyalty. One of the things that we do that's different, I think, than a lot of other quote unquote discount dental supply companies is, I hate that term, but we're not looking for the one-offs. We don't want somebody that comes to us and shops around and orders one item or the other item. It's not the type of business that we're in. I mean, yes, it's just not the type of it. We like large, steady orders. We like the volume. We like dealing with people like yourself, and your group of dentists, because it brings people in together as a community, and it's kind of that idea of volume that makes everything work. So if we have to ship something out and it costs, and we have to, I mean, we've had situations where I've had somebody, an assistant in our office here, get into the car, go to our warehouse, pick up the product, and drive all the way to New Jersey because they needed it same day. I can guarantee you we didn't make money on that order, or probably that customer, for a while. That was an expensive trip, but that's not how we look at things. So it wasn't even a question. Our focus is on the customer and customer satisfaction. It's just always done as well that way.
Yeah, it's similar to a dental practice. My patients, it's all about the long game and the relationships. If that patient doesn't want to do the crown this year, maybe they'll do it next year, the year after. But it's all about forming that relationship. We may get a shopper here and there that's calling and coming in just to have a quick consult. We never hear from them again, but we want those patients to have a great experience and refer their friends and family.
Mm-hmm. You build the model, and you operate under that model, and you won't make money on everybody. But if it's a sound model, and then you can, number one, go to sleep at night, and number two, overall, it pays off, and that's where you get your growth from. When you nickel and dime every single patient, you'll get some wins, but you're not going to get that reputation. And
Now
we
you
have a
said,
stellar reputation. I think that's one of the things Jay loves about his job. I hope
Yeah.
is that very often, especially since we're fairly we're in the social media space, and we all the time get shout outs of praise, saying how much they love working with us. I think, and what's funny is they don't usually start off, although spent a lot of time talking about prices. Very rarely are the shout outs regarding prices, right, Jay? They're usually saying what sort of interaction they had with our customer service department. And usually that's where they're blown away, because I think that's where we surprise people. I think with prices, we're transparent about that. They knew what they were getting into. They knew they're going to get a low price, but they're usually surprised at the quality of the service and the quality of the experience. They were probably thinking that you get what you pay for, but in our situation, you get much more than that.
so big picture, what's your typical office saving, quarterly or yearly, when they join?
That's a good question. I will look at, when you look at dental supply savings, anybody watching this, there's two things that we talk about. We talk about, first of all, annual spend, but that varies greatly among offices. But then the other ratio that I think they teach this, your consultants and coaches that will teach you, you want to look at your supply spend as a percentage of your revenue. And that's the key so I would say that, so the short answer to your question is the average office spends somewhere around $3,000 a month on the products that we sell. But that doesn't say anything, because what happens if you have 10 operatories and you're busy all the time? And what happens if you work 3 days a week and you're semi-retired? So the real question is, what's your dental supply expense as a percentage of your revenue? And if you go to some of the biggest dealers in the country and you create an account and you place your order, you will, and you order, a normal rounded product. You're not an orthodontist or any sort of specialist, so you're a GP. You're probably going to hit around 7 to 8% of your practice revenue. So if you're doing $1 million in revenue, at that point you're going to be spending $70,000 a year on your consumables. If you go to crazy dental prices and you just create an account and start ordering, that number should drop to about 5%. So that will put you at about $50,000. So you've saved, without doing any work or having any sort of commitments, and that'll save you $25,000 a year. Best of breed, somebody who negotiates and penny pinches and waits for deals and waits for shows and does all the other extra work, you can, if you're lucky, you can get it down another percentage point to 4%. And that would be like the holy grail. I don't think you can get lower than 4%. Maybe the largest DSOs in the country have some sort of, group bargaining power where they can somehow chip away below 4, but 4 is going to be your low number. So, and that's really the message. I mean, I'm being very transparent even in explaining it. So the point is that you're going to get from your 7% to 5 with Crazy Dental, and that'll save you the bulk of your money. And that extra $10,000 on $1 million practice is possible. Now, yes, somebody who's grossing $1 million in their practice, whether they think it's worth it to shop around and spend all that extra time for $10,000. Some say yes, and some say no. That's how I started the podcast. For some people, every penny counts, and they'll go gray market to do it, or they'll have to track their orders from 7 different dealers every month, and then budgeting, and then keeping track of where you ordered it from and what's on back order from which dealer and which shipment came. By the way, in a lot of situations, it turns out that you forgot that you placed an order. It gets lost in the mail, but you don't even claim that it was missing because you forgot you ordered it. So 5% is, I think, the healthy number. Anybody out there who coaches dentists or has looked at this a lot, let me know if I got it wrong, but I think 5% is a really, really healthy number and is attainable, but just by going to Crazy Dental and placing your order there.
You're also
Now,
saving a tremendous amount of time. Even if you
yeah.
if you go like to shop around, if it's your employees that do it, or if it's you that do it. Some people like like to call it shopping therapy. They just love going online and just bouncing around. If you like that, okay, fine. But if your time actually matters to you, and you'd rather be seeing a patient in the chair, or you rather your employees be working with the patients, hygienists, assistants, or whatever, or you rather actually be spending time with your family or just walking the dog, whatever it may be. It's the crazy dental model is like how he is clearly laying out. It's money, but it's also it's time. It's and then together, it's difficult to beat our model.
Now,
We do the work for you.
are you fully digital now? Do you not go, or I guess trade shows may not be around for a while. Who knows what's going to happen with those? Did you used to go to trade shows? And now you're really just doing more kind of like this digital marketing, like this podcast we're doing right now.
Jay, you have some trade shows scheduled, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, there's so what I'm starting to see in this world is there's two. We can break the shows down into two departments. One is like you're saying, Eric, a trade show, which is the typical New York, Chicago, Boston, Texas, California, all these great shows that a lot of people go to. Nothing against them. And then you have these what I like to call them summits, which are you know focused on either consultants who are putting it together for the people who they work with, or large influencers trying to find some niche that the big large shows don't really carry. And they're now offering CE courses, and they're offering fun time and all that good stuff. And I see a huge move towards those. The large trade shows we're seeing, they'll have student day, and they'll have international day, and they'll have walk around the floor day, and which is all great. But bottom line, I think you can get CE online now.
Yeah.
Those shows are expensive. Used to fly their offices out. Yeah, I'm in California. I want to go see Washington D.C. Okay, or yeah, I want to go see New York. Okay, but I think that's getting old. And they offer CE, they offer class, and you walk around the floor. Those floors shows are really just for the large distributors and international companies that are trying to market their product, or even just local U.S. companies trying to market their products. And I don't know how much really comes out of that. There are a lot of meetings that go on, between how I can testify to that, between distributors and the actual manufacturers. But you could do that over the phone now also, and I think Zoom has changed things. But what I do find is these, like, I like to call them summits, or weekends, the Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, or Friday, Saturdays. They're very quick. They're CE conscious. They focus, they push that, and then it's the people that they've been consulting with, and there's already a relationship there, and they'll just the doctors will go. They'll send a couple office staff to go along with them. They knock out what they're looking to do. On the CE side, they have they meet some people that are also working as they're with their advisors, and that's it. It's done. So we are going to those. Those I see are starting to open up again. The large shows, they're not doing it. I find that these, let's call them summits, or these smaller intimate groups of the hundreds or the 500s are opening. They're starting already in April, May, and July.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are offering both virtual and in person. But bottom line, we do go to the shows. We have a large showing in New York. We have a showing in Chicago, and in Boston, and in Minnesota, and in California. Our leadership team goes to all these. They meet with the manufacturers, and they meet with up and coming guys. But as far as us having a table at these places, the larger shows last year and this year, I don't see it happening. Meaning that, like, the anchor shows, like we had mentioned, but the summits and these more intimate, smaller shows, which we feel we benefit more from, we plan on attending this year, and for years to come. And I think we as a company will benefit more. The top brass will continue going to the large shows, because they meet with the people they need to meet with. But as far as a company like Crazy Dental, does it really make a difference if we go to these large shows or not? Probably doesn't.
It's not the game that we're in.
Yeah.
We're certainly to bring in new business. to meet or to wheel and deal on specific products. We wouldn't go to a trade show at all too much. We're not our company is focused on the concept, getting the concept of what we do out there. So we do that best through podcasts, through social media, through referrals. It takes a while to explain what we do because it's a little bit different than how everybody else works. We don't tease prices on certain products. We're not going to a trade show with our trade show specials that we've or anything like that. So it doesn't work for that. Now, what we do find is sometimes we can strike up some conversations and one-on-one explain to someone what we do at a trade show. It's not very cost effective. But what is nice is if when we are at a trade show, we meet the customers that we've been working with for years, and they love seeing us because it's a opportunity. Zoom doesn't replace that sort of one-on-one interaction. So that's really the number one reason to go. We accomplish that, with like a small booth or something like that. We're certainly not going to have some sort of big flashy, exhibit with 15 sales reps that are pushy, looking around, trying to recruit people. We'll usually send our customer service department, not salespeople, and they're just going to basically say hi to everybody, kind of like the character walk at Disney World,
Exactly. We
Take
don't
a
have
picture with them. Oh, you're Jess. You're Jenny.
Yeah.
I've spoken to you like 5 times over the last year. So nice to meet you, and that sort of thing. It's really nice to do that, and it's a kind of a way of giving back almost.
It's right.
I
It
can imagine.
puts a face to the people. Oh, I spoke to you now. I know what you look like, and blah blah blah. We'll have
And
like a
then we give
little
out that swag.
caricature.
Everyone likes the
Exactly.
swag.
Exactly. But to go make a
stress
big
ball or something, or a shot
right
glass.
that they take and they give to
We
their
never have
family
too many of
members
those.
or whatever. Yeah,
Everyone loves free stuff. Yeah.
that's right. They come to the booth just for that play little game, and you get they come up with a little game, and because like how I mentioned earlier, Crazy Dental is not, we do have a model with reps. We have that model, but Crazy Dental model is most of the orders. Howie can actually probably give you a hard number, but most people are ordering online. We do have a customer service, division that takes care of all the people that want to call in or email or fax their orders, and they're great. And those are the people that like Howie's talking about. I spoke to you, whatever. But the company is moving more towards the online, just call in quick, place an order, and that's where a lot of the dentists are starting to move in that direction, even if they're old timers, but their office staff are they're just everything's online. And so we're moving more toward in that direction. Again, if they want to place the order over the phone, we're here. They can call it in, they can email it, fax it, whatever they like. They could text, it doesn't matter. We'll do whatever the office would like. But the world is moving in that direction, and to go ahead and splash and spend $100,000 at a show, what's your ROI on that? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, from our perspective.
So does Crazy Dental actually have reps, or is that more on the DC side?
That's more on the DC side. I mean, how you can, if you want, but that's
I mean, we don't have sales reps. Jay has the title Director of Business Development. He, as an exception, might have a couple people that he's dealing with one-on-one, but he's not assigned to customers. He's tasked with getting the word out, and everyone else is customer service. We do have reps. I mean, if you're ordering from Crazy Dental, and I should have said this at the beginning, you're ordering on the DC Dental website. It's basically Crazy Dental is your sales rep. It's your digital sales rep, who's taking care of you for pricing, and you have a customer service team backing that up. But if you do want a sales rep, we transition you over, and we could assign you to a sales rep who will create that custom pricing catalog for you, go item by item, and there's a lot of benefits to that. There's a lot of people that prefer having a sales rep. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a dentist. If I was a dentist spending $50,000 a year at a company, I might say, I want a dedicated account manager. I want, want somebody looking after me, and with a sales rep, you can maybe get a couple other. But it's just a preference.
And I've done that. I've
Crazy
walked
Dental
people in.
program, it precludes you from having you won't have an assigned account manager.
Some people that call us, they find out about crazy and they'll talk to us and they're all in and they'll just jump. They're great. They love our customer service, like Howie mentioned. If you go on social media, people just praise them right and left. Nobody likes me. I don't know. I'm depressed about it, but whatever. No, they love
I
that
like
whole
you, Jay.
concept. Oh, thanks. Love you too, Eric. Woohoo! Virtual hug. But they it's a thank you. It's a I love you more. People, they love the whole customer service world, and I'll slowly I'll work with them for a little bit, and then dish them off to customer service. And there are others that'll say, hey, I love that whole rep. I'm used to it. I'm accustomed to it. I don't know how to deal with it. I can't make that leap. I can't make that jump to just, I need to talk to somebody. They're just very hands on, and like Howie says, we have a great group of guys and gals that do that, and that's what they do all day. As they
Or
work with people. But they do.
is
They'll
that
call and they'll talk to them and they'll work with them. Crazy Dental is not calling anybody and saying, "Hey, man, you haven't placed an order in 30 days. Where are you?" We'll send out emails. But it's a buying club, and a part of a buying club is we do the work on the back end. We guarantee to be the least expensive, and that's what we do. For all from the back end. So you don't have to deal with anybody else or anything else. You just go, you place your order online, or you call us up. You have your orders, like Howie said, we'll send these catalogs. These are cater white glove catalogs that are with the items that you typically order, the items that we sell most of, and boom, done. And the company, thank God, has really grown that way. So the model works great.
you said membership club? Do you consider Crazy Dental to be a GPO? And is there a fee to join the club?
There's no fee. At one time there was. That was before my time. Howie can talk about that. Is this GPO? No, because I think we're it's just a buying club under the DC Dental umbrella.
It's not. Yeah, it's not a GPO in that sense. It's definitely there isn't a membership fee. Although we've toyed with the idea for a long time. We feel like it's worth money, but we're not going to ask anyone to pay for it. The club is really the idea of that. Is to kind of reinforce what I said before in terms of it's best suited for those that are not going to shop around. So you're part of the club. This is where you place your orders from. The average order size of a Crazy Dental customer is higher than most, well, it's certainly higher than the average internet order that's placed online. It's much closer to what our sales reps are experiencing with their loyal customers. It's designed for the loyal customer.
And we do have people that order, they'll order a couple of these and a couple of those. They use the discount code, like you said, D for dentist. It's, by the way, the year code is the number 4. D is in David, the number 4, and dentist. They'll get the 10% off the ordering, through Deals for Dentist. But there are, especially with PPE, you have a lot of people that are ordering just gloves and just masks. And just wipes, because we happen to have a lot more of that than and we're offering to sell more than that than our competitors. They have limits, and now thank God, been able to open the door to, so a lot of things are just not limited anymore. But but most people are like, this is my one-stop shop. And you do have those therapy shoppers that love to just bounce around and play games, and they'll buy a little gray hair and a little of this from us and a little of this from that guy, and they're friends with that guy and they don't want to leave them, so they'll buy a little here, a little there.
Do you find that's the older generation, and that the newer generation, the millennial dentists that are coming out are more tech savvy and they want the instant gratification? They just want to order quickly through, your digital platform.
Yes.
Yes.
The millennials want a more digital relationship typically, but they're not as likely to shop around though. Necessarily. They're looking for a digital platform where they can just go place their order and then get back to, playing Angry Birds. I'm just kidding. Going back to practicing dentistry and stuff like that.
They play Angry Birds on their patients. No, I'm joking.
Millennials. Well, I think you can qualify as a millennial now and be like 35. So.
Hey, I'm 42 and I'm a millennial. No, I'm joking. But it's and we just talking about using the word GPO. We do. I don't even know. We it's whatever they tell you on the internet. We do work with some of these groups also. We work with DSOs and some groups that we have a GPO. We to talk about going to the summit. We work with these guys also because we have the ability to do that. In other words, we're not just because we're a large company that we're gonna hit probably please get over 100 million this year in sales. So it's we're moving quickly. We're going in the right direction. We think we're always trying to stay ahead of the curve, and we work with some of the larger companies as well, because we're big enough to do that, and we can play with the big boys. We're not in the billions, but we're in the 100 million now, and then we could we have leverage now as well. So we're working to that end.
Have you ever been approached by one of the big boys to buy you out?
Don't look at me, Howie.
I don't know that they're in that game. I think that they have plenty of business on their own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, personally, I love just being able to go online and do something quick. It's one of the reasons I first started using Implant Direct back in like 06 or 07 when they first came out, because it was an implant company that was selling everything online, and I could just go in and create my shopping cart, and it would, my implants would be there in a day or two, and I didn't have to deal with the local rep. So to me, that is very attractive. And I think that's, the way it's going is people just, especially the younger dentists out there, they want to be able to focus on their patients and their business and not have to worry about, shopping.
And Howie loves to talk about this, and he'll tell you one of our most popular items that we still sell today is film. I'm looking here, according to the internet, not that you believe anything you read, but according to this guy, and he says that millennials were born in 1981. So you can be 40 years old and still be a millennial. But Howie loves to say this, we're still selling a ton of film. I mean, I just saw a couple days ago where our supply chain folks put in some more. There's some other companies now adding film to their repertoire, to their list of products that they sell, which is like, what? And the answer is there's still a lot of people, using old age stuff, and which is fine. It's great. And we want to be able to service those people at the same time. We want to, look to the, millennials, and there are a lot of DSOs popping up everywhere, and they're all online. They're not focused. Their companies need to know what's going on and who's spending what and how they're spending it. And so
you got to get a TikTok video out there, Jay. You got to, that's a joke. That's where
it's not a joke.
So tomorrow I'm actually getting my second vaccine.
Nice.
And I wanted to ask you guys, both of you got COVID, right?
Yep. Yeah. I got it from Howie. But I don't want to talk about that. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, that's all right. That's after the Zoom, we can talk about that. Yeah. Tell me about your experience getting COVID and what your symptoms were like.
How you want to go first? You go.
I mean, I found out, that I had it luckily well before I had been exposed to anybody. So I just holed up at my house for 2 weeks. I was working straight through, working out of my house. Was fairly mild from my perspective. I mean, I have a high tolerance for pain, I guess, or for, I don't know if pain or what you'd call it, but I definitely had I lost my sense of taste and smell, sore throat, all the rest of that. But I muscled through it, and I think at the other end of it, I know that it's a weird situation and a weird environment that we're in, where everyone's kind of afraid to give some sort of definitive medical claim towards, let's say, saying that you're immune or anything. But I've been feeling immune. It seems like there isn't a single example worldwide that I'm aware of somebody getting COVID a second time, I think within the first 90 days, which I'm still in, I believe. So, but it's allowed me to, and also I think they say not to take the vaccine in the first 90 days. I'm not sure if I would qualify anyway under any of the categories. So, I feel like it was one thing I put in the rearview mirror. I got very lucky. There are people that either have very, very bad experiences with it as it's happening, to the point where it's lethal, obviously. Although you'll find that typically with elderly. But the other thing that you find is that people have lingering symptoms, and that crosses, it seems like, all age groups, where you won't get your sense of smell back for weeks, months. I think some people have been like going on from the, they're approaching a year where they haven't gotten it back. So I'm feeling very fortunate about that, and I'm very excited that there's a vaccine out there, and hopefully they can get everybody vaccinated sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Jay, what about you? You had it a
Thank
little
you.
bit worse, right?
I did. I am also part of I'm on the alumni list of thank God I'm alive. I was, and when I was ended up in the hospital, and the first question they ask you, one of the nurses asks you, is after the doctor sits down and gives you, I wasn't at Johns Hopkins, after they give you a list of different things that could potentially happen, and how the whole system works, and what they thought from all the X-rays and MRIs and CT scans they gave me and everything. They say to you, like, what's going to happen to you, if what do you want to happen to you if you don't make it out of here, alive, and it, like, hits you over the head a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah, because that's what's happened. But thank God, I'm alive. It was pretty brutal. I went into the hospital actually on day 12. I didn't go in right away. My whole family had it. I went through all my kids, my wife, everybody. We all got it, and we're all alumni. And it was pretty bad. Like Howie was saying, he didn't have much. He was cool. He worked through it. I remember doing some work with him, while he was at home locked up. But one of my sons got it first, and we locked him up in the basement, and we kept down. They were like, "Oh, stay away, isolate, blah blah blah." We did that, but then ultimately, you find out you don't get your symptoms until like 3-4 days after you really have it. So by then already it was too late. It was going around the house, and everybody got it. I ended up being in the hospital for 4 days. Afterwards, it took me about 8 weeks. I'm still not fully recovered. I still get weak. I'm still I'm still fatigued. I get tired a lot quicker than I used to. And it's not because of age. Just it was like snap. Just happened. I had memory fog, short-term memory fog for a while, where you just forget short-term things. It's just not there. And then again, there are a lot of people that have a lot of different, post and post symptoms of it. What once went through their head, but and then there was, they're worried about my blood pressure, my lungs, my breathing. Those are things that everybody has to worry about right away. Always get a pulse oximeter, check your blood and your lungs. If you're below 90 on your lung reading, go to the hospital. It's just not worth waiting it out. And they know a lot more now what's going on than they did in the early days when people were just not doing well, and they still aren't, but it's much better than it was. And like Howie said, there's a vaccine now, so I'm on the list to get it. Hopefully I will. I don't know. There's nothing available here in Maryland. So it's just, they're blaming it on Tennessee. I think in Arkansas, where Pfizer and Moderna manufacture these vaccines. Oh, there's storms. They can't get the stuff out. There's just not enough. I saw New York City only has 1,000 left. That was like yesterday. I mean, a city with millions of people. I mean, and then there are a lot of people. One of my kids had emergency surgery yesterday, and at Johns Hopkins, and I was there. Spent the whole Saturday night there, and then yesterday, most of the day. Most of the nurses there all had 2 shots already, 2 vaccines already. The doctors all had 2. That means if they tell you had 1 million vaccines in the state, whoop-de-doo. I mean, that means only 500,000 people, or let's say 700,000 people got it. I mean, you have millions of other people. So it's taken a while. So people, I think, should still be vigilant and careful. But the more people that get the vaccines, and the more people that already had it, it's going to become less and less likely for people that have not had it yet to actually get it. And it was daunting. It was brutal. You're cold, you're hot, your fever spiking, and
You
you're
had
sick.
lingering features for weeks.
Yeah, weeks. I had pneumonia on every single one of my lung ventricles. I was coughing. They're driving these guys here in the office crazy. I mean, one thing I did not listen to was my doctor. Nothing against you, Eric. I know you're a doctor, you're a proud doctor, but my doctor told me, he's like, don't go to work. I went anyway. A lot of people can't.
After the.
Oh, after, yeah, right. I didn't come and spread the virus here, right? Okay, yeah. Disclaimer.
Once you were, he said not to go to work, not because you were contagious. He said not to go to work
Right.
so that you could rest up.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
thank you. Yeah.
That's a whole different thing.
Whoops. I even have masks here in my drawer in my office. I can walk around, it's I when I left the hospital, they weren't even sure if I was still contagious or not, because like I said, I went in at day 12. They're like, oh, maybe you are, maybe you're not. We're not sure. So just be careful. So I left at day 16 or day 17 or whatever. So I stayed home for another week. Week and a half, and then I came back to the office, and it wasn't easy, but thank God I have a job where I don't have to run around all day. I'm not working in a warehouse. We have guys in the warehouse here. You see that, and I realized, like, if I was doing that, no way, I wouldn't have gone back right away. There's no way. And so thank God for that. If I was driving a bus, a lot of jobs are very, you have to, see here, it's the type of job I have. It's easier. and to work, than it would be. It's not as I'm not moving, I'm working, I'm not a bodybuilder, so that would take.
Not
But thank
yet.
God, yeah, no, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
right. My
Yeah.
stomach seems
Well,
to expand all the time. That's where my muscle mass is right here. But it's
yeah.
thank God, it's good. We're good. My family's back to normal. Like I said, I still have a little bit of fatigue. I have a nurse that calls me every week to check up
Hmm.
on me because I volunteered to be part of some kind of exploratory, what blah 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 at Hopkins. I don't know what I was signing up for. I was like, yeah, if I could help someone, why not? Next thing I know, they're taking blood from me like no tomorrow at the hospital, and they're calling me and asking me questions. This and I'm like, oh my god, what did I sign up for? But it's fine, because what they do is COVID. It does a lot of things. And one of the things it does is it can cause blood clots. So they gave me some kind of
Hmm.
medicine, even though I don't know if it was a placebo or not. They keep calling me there's some kind of medicine they use for other illnesses that break up blood clots. So that was their exploratory, where they wanted to check to see maybe if I don't know if they gave it to me or not. The doctors didn't even know what they gave it to. That comes from directly from the lab at the university to see if that works. But whatever. It's not recommended. We all know people that didn't make it. All of us. I mean, my
Yeah.
kid's doctor who yesterday did the surgery. He's his guy who he did residency under here in Maryland. He didn't make it. And he was helping a lot of people. And he's a famous guy. He just it's pretty sad.
It is.
My brother's father-in-law. I went to his funeral. He didn't make it. So they're all. It's still
Wow.
it's serious. It's not a joke. But it's still a very small percentage of people. It's not. The numbers are staggering, but it's dangerous. So you have to be careful. But bottom line is we should all stay healthy and safe and be careful, and should all, please God, we'll all get through this. And it looks like, then again, I think one of the things this taught us is we don't know anything, but it looks like we're getting towards the end. So it looks like. So even from the
Hopefully.
business end, like our supply chain was telling Howie today, like and I know that some people are saying now by April this thing may be over. So if the vaccines really start pumping out and people already had it, the likelihood, if someone has, the likelihood of them getting again is like less than 0.1% or something like that. So many people have had it, and so if you haven't had, I don't know if you had it or not, Eric, but if you haven't, hopefully you're out of the gates, or we're pretty close to it. So I mean, as a doctor, you deal
Yeah.
with this all the time. You have
I'm getting the
patients.
second one, the Moderna second one
You
tomorrow.
mentioned that, right?
So
That's great. So
yeah.
you're good to
So
go.
yeah. Well,
Have you had
thanks for
reactions? Have you had reactions from the first vaccine? Were you perfectly fine
just a
afterwards?
sore shoulder. So
Wow.
we'll see what
Wow.
happens. Yeah.
Oh,
Everyone's
please God.
different. So
Right,
yeah.
right. Especially people who have
Guys,
antibodies. They say that there's a reaction. But thank you so much. We
thanks for sharing your
appreciate.
story.
Thank you, and guys, don't forget D4, the number 4. So D is in David, the number 4 dentist gives you 10% off on all orders except for right now for PPE. That'll probably change soon, hopefully once we get past COVID. But right now it works on anything. 10% off every product you order from us. You could track it. I know we didn't really talk about that, but once you place the order, you're going to get an email from us. All right, order was placed. Within 15 minutes, it's already in boxes. We got about 50 people in the warehouse working, and we got a bunch of machines and robots. So it's pretty cool stuff. And like Howie mentioned, we have an Amazonian guy, making us all Amazonian. And so the warehouse doesn't look like the Amazon, the beautiful trees and water, but it's clean. It's there's a lot of stuff moving in and out. After 15 minutes, it's already on the trailer, done. And then once either FedEx, UPS actually scans the product when it gets to their distribution centers to get shipped out, you'll get another email with tracking, and boom, you're done. And it's smooth sailing. And we operate that way. And Howie's on top of that. That's what he does all day, is make sure that the warehouse is running smoothly, and that financing is in shape. And that's what he lives on. He's here at 7 a.m. and he leaves at 10 at night, literally, guys. No joke, guys. He's a word.
Hey,
He keeps it. It's true. I'm sorry, maybe 8 or 9 at night, whatever. I'm sorry. So it's
Guys, thanks so much. That
thank
was
you.
a great interview. Again, Jay Glazer and Howie Friedman of Crazy Dental. Let's be in touch, and we'll go from there. Guys,
For sure.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Make it crazy. Life's about being crazy. If you ain't crazy, you ain't living. You gotta make it
That's
crazy.
right. Keep it
For some
crazy.
yeah, for some reason our model is being a monkey. I don't know where that came from, but I just like that's it. Just
I smell t-shirts, make it crazy. That's I think you guys are onto something. All right, guys, let's be in touch.
Appreciate you, brother. Enjoy bananas. Thank you.